NASA performed a test to see if 4 and 5-year-olds could come up with innovative solutions. Out of the group surveyed, 98% of them were labeled as creative geniuses. 5 years later, that same group was tested, and out of that same group, only 30% were labeled as creative geniuses. 5 years after that, only 12%. And by the time they reached adulthood, only 2%. Why? Why does our inner creative and inventor disappear as we age? In this video, we'll uncover why adults lose their creativity and what we can do to rekindle it. So let's start to take a look at some of the reasons why, as a whole, adults lose their creativity with time. The first one being the fear of being wrong. Adults as a whole are much more likely to let the fear of being wrong stop them from making a decision. Compare that now to the way that a kid would approach a problem. Kids, when they don't know something, will just go off and try it. They're not afraid of being wrong. And that's not to say that being wrong is the same thing as being creative. But what we do know is that if you're never prepared to be wrong, you'll never come up with something inventive. The second aspect is actually the education system. There's a widespread notion that we are effectively being educated out of a portion of our creativity. In 2016, Ken Robinson gave a great TED Talk on this matter, and it effectively boiled down to 2 main points. First point being that every education system on this planet has a hierarchy of subjects, from mathematics at the top to humanities in the middle, and then the arts at the very bottom. And even amongst the arts, there's kind of a hierarchy there, from music all the way down to dance. The other point that he made in our education system in regards to creativity is that academic ability has dominated our view of intelligence. Everything in the current education system is based around getting into a top school based around standardized testing scores. The result being that many highly talented, creative geniuses think that they're stupid strictly because the education system didn't prioritize that ability. Link in the description if you want to watch this whole TED Talk, because I can't link it. It's awesome. Go do it. And the third aspect of why adults tend to lose their creativity is building on pre-existing knowledge. As adults, we act upon pre-existing knowledge. If something happened one way in our past, we are to assume that that is likely to happen again. This is great for us as humans to feel safe and secure. However, it frames our mindset that if this one thing happens, the outcome must be the exact same. As we get older, we encounter more and more scenarios and try to predict the outcome based around our past, rather than thinking of new solutions. So you're probably saying, gee, thanks John, thanks for making me super down about the state of adult creativity. But there are some things we can do to rekindle it, and as well as let creativity thrive in the modern world. And with that being said, I kind of have 2 different actionables that I want you to think about moving forward. First one being around judgment. In group settings, learning to be free of judgment is one of the most important things that you can do to prosper creativity, especially amongst teams. When you're asked to come up with novel ideas, you'll likely draw from your past experiences. And probably when you have pitched an idea to people, what's something that you've heard? Oh, we've tried that before. Oh, that will never work. That's actually the exact method that stops creative thought. Back when researchers were analyzing children's brains and how creative thoughts and actions came about, they actually found out that 2 specific types of thinking happen within the brain. The very first one is called divergent thinking. The divergent thinking are your wild ideas, your imagination, any type of creative concept. The second being convergent thinking, and the convergent thinking is the criticism, the judgment, or even turning things into action. When researchers analyzed this, they actually found that convergent and divergent thinking work against each other. Whenever you have free-flowing creativity, a convergent thought would stop that in its tracks. So best practice is when you're in a brainstorming session, don't evaluate any of the concepts. Throw them all down on paper. Let that divergent thinking roll and come up with as many creative solutions as you can before moving to implementation and action. And then on an individual basis, one exercise that's worked really well for me in getting my creative mind still running and flowing is in writing. From the book Storyworthy by Matthew Dix, I actually found this exercise he calls crash and burn that I do on a weekly basis. How it works is you must start a timer for 5 minutes and continuously write for those 5 minutes about whatever enters your mind. It doesn't matter how weird, how odd, or how embarrassing the story might be. There's 3 rules to it. The first one is you can't get attached to any idea. If you're in the middle of a sentence and have a change in thought, continue on with that change in thought. The second one, you can't judge or criticize any idea. And the third one is don't allow the pen to stop moving. Keep going for the full duration of those 5 minutes to see what ideas you can get down on paper with that divergent thinking. This technique allows new ideas to flow through your mind and not judge them as they enter your head. It's a really effective technique that I really enjoy and encourage you to try. So in summary, it's normal to lose some of our creative spark as we age. Life is kind of a balance. Without execution, the creative ideas won't come to life. And without creativity, we won't have any new novel ideas. To me, being creative is kind of a form of expression. And being able to exercise that in a work setting for novel ideas, or even to parties and building new themes, or even playing my instrument, is a way for me to kind of let loose. I hope you're able to take away some of the actions from this video and keep growing and stretching your own internal creative muscle. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting on this video, as it really helps my channel and allows me to keep growing on this platform. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.